Hey guys, SPD64 here, and as a lot of you may know, today is the 15th anniversary of Shadow Rouge! Yay! My, what good times we've had with these two. But let's get real for a second here. I'm sure you guys are confused with the title of this video. Well, allow me to explain. So we all know that Shadow went through a phase where he didn't know who he was, and then aliens rained from the sky, and then guns were a thing, and blah blah blah, you know the story. Well, what if I told you that the game Shadow the Hedgehog was all Rouge's fault? Myself and Beastplayer Studios have talked about this a few times, how pretty much Shadow didn't need to go on his adventure to find out who he is and gain back his memories, where Rouge could have just sat him down and told him what happened 50 years ago and what happened in regards to Sonic Adventure 2. Then it got me thinking, what would have happened if she did explain Shadow's past to him? What would it have meant for Shadow's roles within the other games such as Sonic Heroes and Sonic Battle? Well, I'm here to figure that out. Let's begin with Sonic Heroes, since that's the game that comes right after Sonic Adventure 2, as well as the game being Shadow's next appearance. Throughout all of Team Dark's story, there's this theme of being unsure whether or not the Shadow we're seeing in this game is the same Shadow that fell from space in SA2, or is one of the many androids seen at the end of Team Dark's story. Shadow asked Dr. Eggman if he knows anything about his past during one of the in-game cutscenes, with Eggman stating,
"Your memory? What memory? You have no past to remember."
Well, fuck, aren't you a ball, sunshine? Pretty much Shadow and Rouge keep questioning who Shadow exactly is throughout the rest of the cutscenes. Though at the end of the story, Omega pretty much says that in order for there to be so many Shadow androids, the original would have had to be used in order to match Shadow's physical details, such as fur colour, height, and all that jazz, implying that the Shadow we've been playing as all along is the real Shadow. Essentially, the entire storyline for Team Dark and Sonic Heroes is to find out about Shadow's past and help him regain his memory. Oh, and to help Omega get revenge on Eggman. But this isn't Omega's anniversary, so sorry Omega, but your subplot is irrelevant in this video.
All around me are familiar faces, worn out places.
Now on to Shadow the Hedgehog. Oh boy, this whole game is about Shadow finding out who he is and why he was created and... Look, I'm sorry, but Rouge, I love you and all, but for the love of God, you caused this, you bitch! This game is your fault! You could have just been like, hey Shadow, here are the details. Your friend got shot in the head, then 50 years later you came back and wanted to kill all the humans, but then you turned good and died, but now you're alive again. But no, you were just like, oh, I'm not gonna tell him, I'm just gonna let him go off with his alien daddy, use guns and say damn all the fucking time. Which then leads to jokes about Shadow being edgy and was the beginning of the franchise dying because Rouge was a big fucking son of a So the Shadow the Hedgehog game was used as a sort of conclusion for Shadow's arc about finding out who he is, which also introduced a new concept, that Shadow is half alien. Okay. Black Doom appears at the beginning of the game and implies that he has the answers that Shadow's been looking for, and so Shadow goes off to collect the Chaos Emeralds. Throughout the game we get a few returning concepts, such as the Shadow androids, making Shadow start to believe that he is an android. Then he starts to believe that he's the real Shadow. Then he gets all mopey and thinks that he's just a mistake. Jesus Christ, he might as well just be called Bipolar the Hedgehog. Even though the game has several endings, the real ending involves Shadow accepting that he is the same Shadow from SA2 and leaves his past behind him, including throwing away a picture of Gerald and Maria? Dude, what the fuck? You could have kept that, why throw it away? I mean, I know I'm supposed to be showing off that he's over his past and all, but you know what, I'm just done with this damn game. Now we get to the part where we think about how events would change if Rouge actually confronted Shadow and gave him the answers he was looking for to begin with. Well, Sonic Heroes is the first time the two meet again after it was believed that Shadow had died. You would think that once Rouge was able to stop the fight between Omega and Shadow, that she would take the time to explain things to him, meaning that the only goal the team would have would be Omega seeking revenge on Dr. Eggman. Granted, that probably would have made the story for the team a tad bit boring, but I could see it playing out quite similar to the Team Heroes story, who were out to stop Dr. Eggman from his evil plan. Though there would be no reason for Shadow to help out Omega and Rouge, since at that point he would already know what he was looking for. Rouge would have been more likely to help out Omega for her own goals, due to her mentioning previously in the first cutscene about some hidden treasure that Eggman was keeping. By that logic, if Rouge had told Shadow about his past, Team Dark might have never fully formed. Finally, for Shadow the Hedgehog, the game itself wouldn't have its main story element, however the alien attack would have still happened whether or not Shadow knew who he was at that point. And Black Doom still would have confronted Shadow about the Chaos Emeralds. However, this begs the question, would Shadow even bother trying to stop the Black Arms? I mean, he doesn't have any real reason to. Hell, even in the opening he states,
"Look how pathetic they are. I don't have time for these humans."
So does that mean he'll just shrug off what Black Doom said and just walk off and do his own thing? Perhaps he'll just let Sonic handle the situation and save the day, since that's what the blue blur does best. Pretty much it's possible that if Shadow is fully aware of his past at this point, he wouldn't necessarily care about the Black Arms and try and go about his own business. However, this most likely wouldn't have stopped Black Doom from appearing again to tell off Shadow for not collecting the Chaos Emeralds. Though what would Black Doom use as a method of persuasion? Inform Shadow that he's half alien? In that case, maybe Shadow would have gone off to look for the Chaos Emeralds, just to discover the last few clues of his past that not even Rouge was aware of. Overall, it's safe to say that a few things would change if Rouge actually told Shadow about his past when first meeting him again in Sonic Heroes. Sure, it's not a huge change, but it's still somewhat significant. But be sure to let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next video.